Okay, fine, guys. So let's start. First of all, I will introduce myself. I am Abhishek. Uh, I have total 8 years of experience into uh, data science and data engineering, mostly in data engineering. I started my career as a data scientist, then I moved into data engineering completely. And currently I'm working in Aldi Sud as Azure data engineer. So during my course, what we will do, we will try to implement three projects all together. One is data factory centric, one is data bricks centric, and one is Synapse Analytics centric. Mostly the course will go through like 60 to 65% data factory, 20 to 25% data bricks, and then 10% will be the integration part of it, right? And the prerequisite for this course will be zero, right? So even the person from the marketing background can do this course. Okay, so what we will do during the course is the prerequisite for this course is zero. It's a first course which I recommend, like in which you learn about all the tools and technology, right? And then ultimately the motto of this course is basically either after doing this course you can actually work directly in the data factory, you can implement projects in data factory, you can move pipelines, you can do things in data factory very easily. Databricks, you can do some basic stuff in Databricks, and then you can also work in Synapse Analytics very easily, right, after doing this course. Also after doing this course you will be able to write all the projects, the three projects which I have given shown here. After doing this course you will be able to write these projects into your resume, and then you will find a job, right? So I will also give you the interview question and all those things, because I basically take multiple interviews. My students are giving interviews, right? So I will be able to give you all sort of interview question in the end of the course, right? So yeah, so this is how the course will go. First of all, we will start with this particular architecture, as there are three architecture as I told you. So, but first of all, we'll start with this particular architecture, right? That is what we'll do as a first step. Okay. But before jumping on the course, we should also understand what's what is data engineering, and like what are the roles present in data engineering, right? That we should understand first. And also I want to highlight few of the things, because we will be our 95% of the class will go on this particular portal.su.com, because we will always and always, all the classes will be completely practical, and we will learn all the things in portal.su.com. Okay, and I am working on this particular portal.su.com daily. Okay, that's my daily job. So sometimes I might be fast during my class. Okay, so sometimes I click here and there very fast, because that is very much habitual to me, but I will try to make it slow. But whenever you feel I am going fast, or whenever I am clicking bit here and there fast and you're not able to understand it, please let me know, I will slow it down. Okay, so let's start, and then if you have any questions in between, you can ask me, you can stop me and ask anytime, right? That you can do. Now, first of all, let's start learning about what are the different roles present, because when you start learning about Azure data engineering, right? You you also should know that what you shouldn't be learning, right? So that also you should know. So what we will do, we will first understand what are the different roles present in Azure data engineering. Okay, and then we will understand what is cloud. So yeah, so I will just write it down so that we know what's the agenda for the today's class. So what's the agenda for the today's class? First of all, we'll understand different types of roles present in Azure. Roles as in, like, beside Azure data engineer, what is the role of Azure admin? What is the role of Azure DevOps engineer? What is the role of Azure architect? What is the role of Azure data scientist? What is the role of Azure ML engineer? What is the role of Azure data analyst? Right? We'll understand all the roles, so that you know what is your responsibility in day-to-day job, what Azure data engineer does in day-to-day job, that you should know. And also you should know what you will not do, right? So sometimes when I started learning about Azure data engineering, I thought that, yeah, admin stuff is also data engineer handles, right? So we should also understand what you will not learn. Okay, that also you should understand. So different roles in Azure, and then we'll understand what is cloud in general and cloud computing. That we'll understand, right? And then we will understand how to make your Azure account. How to make Azure account. And then we will understand what is resource group and resources in Azure, right? Resources in Azure, such as ADF, Databricks, okay, though storage account, these things we'll understand. Yeah, so we will try to learn through all of these topics today, okay? So let's understand with the first question, what are the different roles present in Azure and what will be the role of a Azure data engineer in day-to-day job, okay? That we'll understand first. So I will try to give you a very simple example. So suppose Walmart wants to move the data from on-premise server to the cloud. Okay, so what Walmart wants to do? Walmart has a data, right? And it has a data in a on-premise server, for example. And what Walmart wants to do? Walmart wants to move the data from the on-premise server to the Azure cloud, or in some sort of cloud, right? That is what Walmart wants to do. But why Walmart wants to do that first place, right? Why? And we also need to understand why every company is basically moving the data to the cloud. Why? First of all, it's important. Okay. So any answers to this, guys? Anybody wants to answer this question, that why basically it's important for any company to first of all move their data to the cloud? Why it's important? Anybody wants to answer this question?
Maintenance of the project, maintenance of the softwares.
Maintenance of the software, like it's easy to maintain in the cloud. That is what we want to say.
Yeah. Easy to
Yeah, maintenance in the cloud, right? Maintain the software in the cloud. And beside that, what other importance?
more security.
Availability.
In terms of data disaster or any other where you will have different zones to keep your data, so it's more secure in terms of on-premise or in case of disaster.
It's more secure, you're saying?
Not more secure, but in terms of availability, if something happens to the, like on-premise, if something happens to on-premise, you might lose everything. But data, you always have a copy, another zone or another availability zones. So
yeah, okay. So more secure, right? More secure. Okay. And any other
cost reducing,
yeah.
cost reduce.
Cost is less, or okay. So I will try to give you this particular. Let's try to think about it in very layman terms. Okay. So suppose I, as a user, I used to basically use CDs, DVDs, and then pen drive in my old days. That I used to do. I do have like many pen drive as well right now, but I don't use them, right? Why I don't use them? Reason being that I do have a like a Netflix subscription or a Hotstar subscription where I can go and watch movies, right? And also at the same time, whenever if somebody asks me to share my photos, like if I went to any travel location with my friends, and then if they ask me to share share the photos, I probably upload all the photos in the drive and then share it to them, right? And why I'm not using the old traditional way of uploading everything in the pen drive, giving it to them, and then they are uploading everything to some CDs pen drive, right? So those things, those days are gone. Reason being that if I upload some data or some photos in the cloud, suppose if I upload the data in the cloud, I can give that access to all of you very easily, right? Instead of giving it to each person individually, right? It's easily shareable, it's easily collaborative, right? That is why we upload it, right? First place. Now, the second reason is, suppose if I purchase a pen drive, right? Now, if my pen drive storage is full, 5 GB pen drive or 5 GB CD I have purchased, then the storage is full, for example, then I need to go to the market again to basically upgrade that, right? So upgrade also I need to handle, but in the cloud, I just need to click a button and then it's upgraded automatically. Okay. So collaboration is very easy, and upgrade is also very easy. Upgrade is very easy, right? Two things. Now suppose if my pen drive is present in some location, then I lost it in some case, right? So if I lost it, and then I need to maintain it, I need to maintain that location, I need to secure that as well, right? But if my data is there in the cloud, every kind of a maintenance is also being done by the cloud service provider itself, right? By the cloud service provider itself. So yeah, so now that due to this many reason, I prefer uploading the data to the cloud. Same with the companies. Okay, so they don't want to maintain it, so every maintenance will be done by the cloud service provider. The cost, I will not say cost is less, because suppose if you have less data, for example, then on-premise server is way cheaper, right? But if you have a big amount of data, right, then it can the cost can be less, right? But cloud is also equally costly, right? But like when it comes to maintenance, when it comes to collaboration, when it comes to making the data more secure, security will also, I will not say, right? Suppose if I have a pen drive and if it is with me, for example, then it's more secure than giving it to anyone, right? So I will not say those points probably, but from the collaboration perspective, from the upgrade perspective, and from backup and recovery perspective, the cloud is much better. That is why people are, or every company is trying to move the data to the cloud, be it Amazon cloud, be it Azure cloud, or be it a GCP cloud, right? So these are the three big players in the market, and that is why every company is trying to move the data to the cloud, so that to gain all of these advantages. Okay, that is why Walmart also wants to move the data to the cloud to gain these advantages, right? Now, when Walmart wants to move the data, suppose what is the requirement ultimately? Ultimate requirement is they want to move the data to the cloud, and then after that, what they want to do, they want to make some sort of dashboard. Okay. And in dashboard, what they want to present, like suppose they want to present, suppose, yeah, employee of the year. Employee of the year means which employee is performing best, right? That they want to present. Business unit of the year means which business unit is performing best, which business unit has most of the sales, right? Product of the year. All of these KPI they want to present in the dashboard, in the beautiful dashboard they want to present, right? In the Power BI, for example, right? Now, what you will do, you will try to move the data to the cloud, right? What you will do as a data engineer, you will try to create a pipeline. So you will try to create a pipeline from this server to this server. You will try to move the data, right? From this server to this server, you will try to move the data. And then after that, you will, suppose here you have many tables. Suppose here you have employee table, and you have like sales table, and then you have like suppose product table, right? Then when you try to move the data to the cloud, you also need to first of all extract extract the data from source server. Then you need to also transform the data, right? So here you will transform the data. Transform means, suppose if you want to find the KPI means total sales per employee, total sales per business unit. You need to join the data, transform the data, right? So you need to transform the data as well. And then you will do the loading part. You will load to the some sort of SQL server to present your KPI. Okay, so you will extract the data, you will transform the data, and then you will load the data. And that is what the data engineer will do on day-to-day job, right? Now, if I open this architecture, what this architecture is doing, this architecture is doing exactly the same job which what I have explained. So in this architecture as well, we are trying to move the data. We are actually trying to move the data from the source system to the blob storage, right? Which is again a cloud storage. Okay, so from the source system to Azure cloud, we are moving the data from source system to Azure cloud. And then we are doing the transformation using Databricks or SQL Server. Both places we can do the transformation. Okay. So here the transformation part will be taken care by your like either the SQL Server or the Databricks, right? And then you're loading it, to some analysis service and Power BI. So in this particular architecture, we are actually doing exactly the same job. Okay, extract, transform, and load. That is what data engineer will do on day-to-day job, right? Either he will create the pipeline to extract the data, and then try to transform the data using some sort of SQL query, PySpark query, Spark SQL query, Python query, right? You need to write some language to transform the data, and then you need to load the data, right? That is what data engineer will do on day-to-day job. Any doubt on this, guys? Any confusion? Any doubt on this? Okay, if not, then suppose that is the job of a data engineer. What data engineer will do? ETL, extract, transform, and load, right? In the simple terms, right? Now, what Azure admin will do? Azure admin. What Azure admin will do? When you want to start, so suppose like you figured out that to move the data from one place to another, you need data factory, right? Because data factory helps you to connect the data from one point to another. So you figured out that you need these tools, right? You need data factory, you need blob storage, you need Synapse server, you need Databricks, right? You try to figure out that. Then all sort of development environment will be given to you by Azure admin, because Azure admin will try to secure the environment for the development. Okay, so he will try to give you the environment so that you can go and develop. Okay, but as a data engineer, your job is to not make data factory or make storage account or make any sort of tool, okay, in Azure space. As a data engineer in 7 years, I haven't made data factory, I haven't made storage account, I haven't made Databricks, I haven't done the setup of the environment. The setup of the environment and making the environment secure will be done by Azure admin. Okay, that's your not job. So whenever we are creating any resource in Azure environment, it's good that you know how to create it, but it's not like you will get the environment created by someone. Okay, so Azure environment will set up the environment for you. Azure admin will set up the environment for you, right? What Azure architect will do? Azure architect will basically help in designing the whole infrastructure. Suppose like Azure architect will actually recommend you that you need a blob storage or you need a data lake Gen 2. He will help you to choose the environment, right? So Azure architect will choose the environment, and then admin will secure the environment, and data engineer will develop on that environment, right? So Azure architect will help to choose the environment. And also architect also has some sort of admin experience as well. When you're calling it as a architect, you will have an admin experience and also a data engineer experience, right? It's a senior role. Now what Azure and a data analyst will do, data analyst or business analyst will do, So once you given all sort of data, right, in the SQL server, Azure data analyst will try to analyze the data and then help to make in the Power BI dashboard, try to whatever data you have given to the analyst, he will try to make sense out of it and then try to present it in a powerful way, right? That is what Azure data analyst will do. Data scientists will try to predict the future. Okay, so suppose, yeah, so data scientist will try to predict the future. So suppose you told that this is data analyst told that, yeah, this is the employee of the year, this is the business unit of the year, this is the product of the year. Data scientist will try to predict the future. He will say that, yeah, so employee of the year next year can be this employee, or like next year this business unit can perform best, next year this business unit can have this much of a sales, right? So he will try to always predict the future. So these are the different roles present. And also as your DevOps engineer, right? Sometimes in some company, data engineer try to do the DevOps job, but you should also understand that data engineer job is to create the environment, develop on the environment, but DevOps engineer will try to move your development from one environment to another environment. Suppose if you have done the development in the developer environment, then as you DevOps engineer will try to move your development from the dev environment to test environment, environment to prod environment. Okay. So that is what DevOps engineer will do. Try to implement the changes from dev to test to prod. And I think everyone who is present here knows about what is development environment, what is test environment, what is prod environment. Anybody who is here who is not aware about dev, test, and prod, please tell me so that I can elaborate it. You can raise your hand as well. If it is not clear, ping in the chat. That also is okay. Yeah. So just for the understanding, suppose when you start developing, you always try to develop in the test dev environment, right? Which is similar to like some sort of like, yeah, so you always and try to develop in the dev environment because you cannot develop on the like production data, right? So you develop in the dev environment. Now once your development is completed, you try to switch to the test environment to test your pipeline. That is similar to the prod environment. Once the testing is completed, deploy to the prod environment. That is how the workflow goes. Okay. So this is about all the roles, and then I try to also give a brief about this architecture. Okay, it's totally fine if you don't understand why database is here, why this is here. Okay, it's totally fine. We just understood that here we are extracting it, here we are transforming it, and then we are loading it. Okay. Any doubt till here, guys?
Yeah, hi Abhishek.
Yeah. Yes. Hi.
Hello. Yeah, Abhishek. So when we want to migrate our data from on-premises to like cloud, so all the like data, I mean the DevOps team, the Azure admin, and entire like all the set of peoples they will come into picture, right?
Yes. Yes. All the people will come into the picture. First of all, architect will come into the picture. He will try to listen the requirement from the business, that what's the requirement. And then after he listen to the requirement, as per he will have a expertise with admin expertise as well. And if it doesn't have a total expertise, then admin will also come into the picture and try to help him to secure the environment and make the environment for him. And then once the architecture has been finalized, once the environment has been like setup has been done, and then data engineer will come, take the requirement from the business, that what is the requirement overall. Then he will try to understand what sort of tables you might need to migrate, and then the data engineer will come into the picture.
Okay,
So
sure.
data
Thanks.
science will come into the picture only and only if it's required. DevOps engineer also is not necessarily required, because I have delivered many small project in which they manually move the pipeline from one environment to another environment. So it depends on the company. If they are practicing version controlling, CI/CD setup, proper DevOps setup, then DevOps engineer will also come into the picture, but it's less likely that they come. But architect, admin, and engineers, data engineers generally come into the picture in any case, because if you are doing any sort of migration project or any sort of dashboarding project, yeah, so they generally come. And what sort of requirement generally come, like till now, what I have seen in my 6-7 years, so generally they have a data somewhere, they want to move the data to cloud, and then they want to make some sort of dashboarding, okay, very standard project, or they want to completely migrate from one environment to another environment. This also likely, like, less likely happens. They generally want to move necessary data, not like, so there are difference between moving what is required and doing a complete migration, okay. So complete migration project also comes very less, because generally company don't want to migrate completely from already existing SQL Server, so they just try to move the data what is required. That is what they do. Okay. Okay, guys, so let me share my screen again. Now what I will do, I will share this particular link with you, okay, and I will add also this link in the group description. In this particular link, what you will get the sample files to practice, okay, which has like CSV file, Parquet file, big files as well, right? You have many files over here which you can check out, and then during the course we'll go through this files as well. Then I will somewhere use some slides, so you will get some slides over here which I use, okay. And then yeah, so 1 second. And then here you will get some sort of like interview question as well, okay. Just like star mark this particular folder is very useful when it comes to everything, right? So you will get interview question as well, you will get some sort of learning material as well when you go to data engineering, right? So you will get many good learning material as well over here, okay. Few of them I have prepared by myself, few of them I find it somewhere in the internet and then I put it here, okay. And I will also add you to some sort of groups as well, where you will get all of this, okay. So now I'm opening one of the slide which is present in this folder, okay, that I'm the slide which I'm opening right now. Now I will just open this, right? What is the difference between on-premise and a cloud? In the on-premise server, so cloud is also pay as you go, okay. Means I need to pay for a service as much as I use it, okay. I don't need to pay extra, okay. So suppose if I need a server, for example, and I need it for like, suppose for 20 days or for a month, I can just use it for a month, and then I will not use it after that, right? So that you can do, but in on-premise server it's difficult, right? So that is pay as you go and easy to scale down, scale up, right? Yeah, the storage and everything will be handled by the cloud service provider. Data loss and recovery, suppose like some Russia-Ukraine war is happening, right? So those kind of any disaster happens anywhere, then data loss recovery will be also handled by the cloud service provider. Upgrade is very easy to collaborate, okay. All those points which we have already discussed is also written in this slide. Now the cloud in general has two model, okay. One is deployment model and second is service model, okay. Now all of this difference is not so important from the practical perspective. When day-to-day jobs happen, nobody will ask you what is public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, IaaS, SaaS and PaaS. It's general term. But from the certification perspective, if you go for AZ 900, these questions can be answered. But in the interview or in the like in day-to-day job, it's less likely that people will ask you. And whenever I say that it's like important from the interview perspective or important from the job perspective, please pay a very attention. But this is not so much important, but I will just go through it. If you're going through any sort of certification, you should know about it, okay. So what is public cloud, what is private cloud, what is hybrid cloud? Public cloud is a cloud in which, so suppose like just to give you an example and just to try to understand in very simple terms. So suppose Microsoft has a different server everywhere, right? So Microsoft has a different server everywhere. Now, suppose many people came to Microsoft, right? And then they have a server everywhere, right? So suppose like TCS came to Microsoft, and then like suppose Walmart came to Microsoft, right? And then suppose SDFC came to Microsoft, right? So different company came to Microsoft, and then Microsoft has a different server all around the world, all data center all around the world, right? And all the data center are connected. This data center are connected, this data center is connected, right? So all the data center connected. Now when TCS wants some space on the Microsoft, what Microsoft will do, Microsoft will share some space to TCS, right? Will share some space to TCS. At Walmart also it will share some space to Walmart, right? But yeah, so it's at the same time highly secure, everything will be handled by the cloud service provider, right? And all the space will be shared, right? So this is a public cloud, right? But suppose SDFC says that I want, like I do have a server already. Okay, so suppose SDFC says I do have a server already. What I want like a cloud setup for my internal employee. My data is highly secure, private, because I do have like a personal information about different my customer, which I don't want to put in your server. I want to take it, like I want to use my own server, and then I want a the cloud setup, right? So they will call as Microsoft in their own premise, and then Microsoft will set up a private cloud for them, okay, in which internally they can share the data. Internally it will behave as a cloud, but it's taken care by SDFC, okay, it's all taken care by SDFC. So this is a public cloud setup, this is a, so sorry, this is a private cloud setup, this is a public cloud setup. And then you have a hybrid setup in which is a mix of both, okay. So some of the data services is in the public cloud, some of the data services is there in the private cloud, which is a hybrid cloud setup. Most of the company uses a hybrid cloud setup. So suppose if they are in the private cloud already, they have Active Directory already maintained in private setup, right? So many company uses a mixed setup in which they have both integrated, okay, public and private both integrated. But as a data engineer you will not figure out that, yeah, so whether a company should use a private setup or a public setup, or where my deployment should happen. Nobody will answer question you all of this, but you should know, yeah, so we have a private setup, we have a public setup. Most of the company uses a hybrid setup in which they have few of the services set up in a private cloud things, and few of the services are there in the public cloud, right? Now we have different model, which is a service model, in which we have IaaS, SaaS, and PaaS. Okay, infrastructure service, software service, and platform as a service. Infrastructure as a service means you just get an environment, nothing else, right? That is the infrastructure service. Suppose I just get a virtual machine, or I just get my laptop. That is a infrastructure as a service, right? Infrastructure only you're getting. When you're getting a tool and then you're going there and doing some sort of development, right? That is PaaS. What is software? Software is just like software, right? We all know about software. We just spend so much time in Gmail, all the different applications, right? So that is software service. Infrastructure service, platform as service, software service. Very simple way to understand is, suppose if you're just getting an environment, that is infrastructure. When you are getting an environment in which you need to go code something or make something, that is a platform as service. You're getting a platform. Software services, you're getting a pre-built software which you can directly use, that is software service, okay. Any confusion on this, guys? Okay, fine. Now let's come to this particular space. And now suppose, yeah, we understood about the architecture. We also understood what is the role of a data engineer, right? We also understood what is cloud. Yeah, so what is cloud in general? That also let me explain definition wise. Okay, so what is cloud? Cloud is nothing but you are not accessing, you're anyways accessing a computer, but you are not accessing your computer, right? Very simple. So like suppose Microsoft providing you some sort of like space in which you go and then you're accessing their computer, right? It also has IP address, it also has like all the things which is basically, suppose in the past days we used to go to some sort of like internet cafe, right? And then we try to use their we used to pay like 20 rupees and then used to use like 1 hour internet, right? Then we need we and then we also used to some sort of like software, we use it for an hour and so and then come, right? It's similar to that when you think about it. Okay, you are just giving some sort of money to Microsoft and then you are using their tools, right? So what is cloud? Cloud is nothing but practice of using a remote server hosted on internet to store, manage and process data rather than your local computer. You're not using your local computer, but you're using some sort of computer which is hosted somewhere, and then you're getting a subscription out of it, pay as you go and then on demand. Okay, and then you have like Amazon, Microsoft, GCP, VMware, Alibaba, all of the players in the market. And I always feel that Microsoft has a edge among all of the cloud service provider. It's, I'm not saying this because I'm teaching generally the Microsoft cloud only. I'm saying this because of the trust I invest as well Microsoft on Microsoft heavily, because of the trust and because I believe that their product are much better because they have a very good integration with chat gpt as well. And then every company, like when it comes to any company, right, in the corporate space, they will use Microsoft product in any case, right? So they have so good product, like they have Excel, they have like Office. So they need to use a Microsoft product, and they have a very good integration now with ChatGPT as well. So I feel Microsoft edge, at least I believe that. And then yeah, so it's a great like future I feel, right? So we are going into the right direction. But whenever we are learning cloud, don't feel that suppose Amazon has a edge in future, then what we will do conceptually, whatever we are learning, full load, delta load, or data bricks, anything which we are learning conceptually, it can be implemented to any of the cloud. Okay, so we are learning right now concepts, we are just trying to use tool as a medium. Okay, so we are anyways focusing on the concepts right now, right? Okay, so cloud is done. Now I have also provided you the what are the different models, right? And then yeah, so now this is the space which we will talk about now. Yeah, so you can star mark this portal.su.com. So let me go to this incognito window. Yeah, so you need to star mark this portal.su.com because mostly we'll work on this portal.su.com. Okay. So first step is to get a subscription. Okay, so first step is to get a subscription, because to watch movies in Netflix, you gotta go and get a subscription on Netflix, right? You make your account. If you want to watch like if you want to work in like if you want to make your account in any sort of tool, first step to make your account, like simple, right? So here we just need to first sign up in this portal.azure.com, make your account. And here you can put any of the email id, not necessarily like outlook email id. You can put your Gmail email id and then you make your account. Okay, once you make your account, go to next step and then create your account. Once you make your account, this kind of window will come. Okay, let me show you. Once you make your account and log in, this kind of window will come. Yeah, not you will not get this window, but I will show you what kind of window will come. Give me a moment. Yeah. So once you make your account, this kind of window will come. Okay. In this kind of a window, what you need to do, first of all, we need to get a subscription. Okay. We need to get a subscription. So here you can click, right? And then start free, and then give your credit card or debit card detail, create a free account of a month. For a month, you can use a free account, right? Here it says that you can use an account for 12 months, but like the services which we will use, which is Data Factory, Databricks, all of the services, it will be active for like a month only, right? So what we will do, we will select as start free and then create account. But now I have an alternative solution, as we are like 9 to 10 people right now over here, right? So we can collaboratively work as well. If someone has a preference, like, so we can collaboratively work as well. So someone, like anybody, suppose two people, two-person can create an account, and then all the people can share the account. And then after that 1 month is expired, other can create an account and then others can use it, right? In that way we will have 5 months of subscription. Like suppose if we create just two accounts, we have 5 months of subscription. And if we create only one account, then we have a 10 months of subscription, right? Free, for free. That is also we can do. Okay, it's totally your personal choice. And also if you give your credit card detail, and if your credit has been expired, right, you will no longer use your account, right? So it's not like somebody can like use your all the credit, right, and then you will be charged. That will not happen, right? And then after 1 month is gone, the Microsoft will not directly charge you money. That will also not happen. Okay, so you don't need to worry about these two things, right? First of all. Second of all, if you want to set some sort of alert, right? So suppose 2,200 credit is there, but after 100 credit is expired, I want to get a alert, right? So we can set those kind of alert as well, right? And then also if you want to like limit down the permission on the subscription level or what other can do, that also you can control, right? It is all personal choice. And at the same time, you don't need to share your email ID and password. That you don't need to do. You need to collaboratively, we can work collaboratively as a company, right? So we can all work together, right? So suppose currently if I logged into one of my students account, Kaushal, in which the subscription got expired, right? So he is not using this subscription now, but I logged into his account now, but I'm going to into my account, right? So this is how you can switch between the accounts. That also you can do. You can go to your account, then you can switch back to other account. Those things is also possible. So first steps to get the subscription. So anybody can be the volunteer if you want to, but it's your choice. If you want to create your own personal account, that is also your choice. And if you want to create your own personal account, then you can create for 1 month for free. And next month you can upgrade your account to pay as you go. that will cost you 500 rupees or 700 rupees a month, and that's all, right? You can practice in that account itself. So that is altogether your personal choice, how you want to go. You want to share, collaboratively work together, or you want to create your own account and then next month you want to pay money, 506 rupees a month. That is choice, right? So now after you create your account and after you get the subscription, this kind of window will come. Let me show you what kind of window will come. Yeah, this kind of window will come if you go to the subscription. Here you will see free. Here in the subscription name you will see free trial, or you will see as your subscription once something will be written, but here you will see that yeah, you have a subscription, right? I am using a pay as you go model, but here if you see I'm just paying like 900 rupees, like probably 900 rupees or 1500 1600 rupees a month I am paying, but I am teaching students, right? So it's like, for me it's bit more money, but when you are working as an individual person to practice things, and if you're just practicing some in the proper way, then it's just cost you 500 600 rupees a month. Then you can do that as well, right? So yeah, so first is get a subscription, and then after that we will create a resource group. First step is to get a subscription, okay, and after that resource group. And then if you want to share the subscription, then anybody can create it, and then I will tell tomorrow how you can share the subscription as well. That I will elaborate tomorrow, okay? So resource group, and then like what is resource group? First of all, let's understand what is resource group. Resource group is nothing but collection of resources, okay? So if I open this resource group, see, in this resource group, we have three resources, right? Logic app, Databricks, API connection. Okay. If I open this resource group, then we have a Key Vault blob storage, right? If I open this resource group, then no resources here, right? So if I open this resource group, there are no resources in this resource group as well. If let's see this resource group, there is a Key Vault and this blob storage, right? What is resource group? Resource group is nothing but a collection of resources, okay? So whenever you are working in Azure, you will create a resource group. So suppose, yeah, we decided that, yeah, we have a requirement that we want to basically migrate our data from on-premise to cloud. And then an architect came, they designed the architecture, they basically finalized all the architecture, then they hired data engineer started developing on the environment, right? So first of all, we will always and always have per environment, per project, one resource group, okay? Resource group will be created per environment, like suppose dev resource group, dev test and prod, suppose prod per project, okay? So suppose if you are working on KPI dashboarding project, then you will have 3 resource group, one for KPI dashboarding development, KPI dashboarding test, KPI dashboarding prod. Okay. And what you can do in resource group, you can manage your resources. So suppose like I created this resource group. I created all the development resources under this resource group. Okay. And at the same time, if I want to manage permission that who can access these resources, I can manage it, right? So suppose if I created a resource group, then I created all the resources under it, then all the developers working on this project will have this particular access. Okay. And others will not have. Suppose if our company has 100 employees, then in our project, we deployed 5 employees, then that particular resource group will have 5 employees access. Okay. Others will not have the access for it. Simple, right? So if I open portal.sdu.com, then if I go to my resource group, I will see only the resource group in which I am developing, not whole company or whole my already is developing on that, right? I will not see that. So it's per environment, per resource group, and then accordingly you can give the permission as well. Suppose you don't want to give the permission to prod, for example, right? Due to some cases, because that is very sensitive. So you can just give the permission to few of the employees. Then you can remove the permission. You can just give the permission to deploy, and then you can remove it. Those kind of a thing also you can manage by access control. Okay, so if you go to IAM access control, then you will also see that who has the access of it and all of that role assignment. If you go, so yeah, so it doesn't have so from the IAM access control, you will be able to see all sort of permission as well over here, right? So let's try to create a resource group, and then we will try to create free resources under the resource group, right? That we will do now. So let's try to create one resource group now. Okay, resource group and then region. Region means this now, like how to select the region. Okay, selection of region is very simple, and we need to also think about it in very layman terms, right? So suppose you want to move the data from on-premise server. Okay, from a on-premise server you want to move the data, and this particular on-premise server is basically this particular on-premise server is there in East US, for example, right? East US. Now, if you create your resource group in India, for example, or in Europe, right? You can create it. That's not a problem. But think about it. Okay, we understood that Microsoft has a data center everywhere, right? So they have a data center in US as well. They have a data center in Europe as well, and every data centers are connected. But if you create your resource group in data center which is Europe, right, then your data movement will be costly, right? Simple. They also need to move your data from like from the US to Europe, right? That will cost. That is a costly operation, right? So generally we create the data, the resources under the same region, or it's been decided by the company itself that if they want to migrate to Europe, yeah, so they probably need to migrate. They want to migrate the Europe data center because they want to make it as a cloud hub, right? So that's company choice. But generally, it is being maintained in the same way, same place, so that it's not costly, and then movement is also happened in the cloud, right? So currently here I am considering it as a central India because suppose we are moving the data from on-premise server which is located in central India, right? So I'm considering a central India, but it can be any location, but it's generally given by the company itself, right? So here we have given the resource group name, a pay-as-you-go model, and then tags are generally need to tag it. Suppose if you have many resource group, right? So it's just the way of tagging it, owner, is Abhishek, for example, right? And then, so yeah, so it's just the way of tagging things so that somebody can understand who created it. And then you create a resource group. Okay, I'm creating a resource group now. Resource has been created. Let's go to resource group. Okay, I go here, I open this resource group. I open this resource group. And here, if you go to the tags, you will understand the owner Abhishek, right? That you will understand. If you go to tags, you will also understand the tag, right? Yeah. And so this is how you can create a resource group. Now you can create resources under the resource group, right? Suppose if you want to create data factory, that also you can create under this resource group. So let's create data factory and then we'll end the class, right? So what is data factory? Like, let's create a data factory, and then what is data factory? How to create pipelines under this data factory, right? All of this we'll understand it in the coming class. But in very nutshell, I will try to elaborate. What is data factory? Data factory is nothing but, suppose if you want to move your data from one place to another, right? Uh, suppose if you want to move your luggage from one place to another, you need some sort of vehicle to move it, right? You need a taxi who will move you from one place to another. Similar to that, if you want to move your data from point A to point B, you need some sort of tool who can do it, right? So data factory is a tool which will help you to move your data from point A to point B. Okay, so let's try to create a data factory under this resource group. Okay, so here you can hit create. And then here you can type data factory, and then you can hit create, right? That also we do generally, right? And also what we can do, we can type data factory directly here, hit create. Generally we do like this, we create type data factory, and then we select this data factory, and then we hit create. This is how we create it generally. Then you select your subscription, you select your resource group, which is like 0524, and then we type the name of ADF, right? Which can be like, okay, you again select your region, which is suppose Central India. Okay, previously data factory has a V1 version as well, but currently we have only V2 version. Hit git configuration, will configure it later. Networking, everything will be by default. Okay, we will not change anything, right? We just type resource group data factory name, and then everything will be by default. Okay, you don't need to, this I will teach separately. Networking, we don't need to worry about it because that is taken care by admin. Advanced tags, if you want to give it, that's all, but everything will be by default, will not change anything. Okay, and you also don't need to worry about networking and all of those things. Okay, because that is been taken care by admin people. Okay, we hit create. Yeah, so this is how you can create data factory. This is the cloud in general, right? Now, what is the homework for the coming class? Coming class homework is to uh, go through public private and public private and hybrid cloud definition, and then also try to yeah, also try to make your Azure account, okay, and then get a subscription, and you can ping in the group to share it across if you want to. That's your choice. Get a subscription, make a resource group. Right? And then after this, 1 second, I will also share one particular video with you guys. So beside that, please try to install the MS SQL Server in your computer, which will be also helpful. So yeah, so MS SQL Server and SSMS. I am giving you a video through which you can install it. Yeah, so you can use this video to install MS SQL Server and SSMS, right? SSMS. So try to follow this homework, try to complete the homework. And as I told before, Wednesday I go to office. So Wednesday tomorrow, which means tomorrow we will not have any class. Going forward as well, we will not have any class on Wednesday. We will connect on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, 10 p.m. right? And also I wanted to let me stop the recording, and then any questions with respect to this, guys?
Can I too?
Yeah, do you have any question?
Yeah, basically, in terms of this group, how many people already?
1 second. Do you have any question with respect to class? Do you have any question with respect to class?
No, not the class, not the class.
Okay, fine. Let me stop the recording then.